everyone. Welcome at Tibu TV Africa. I'm so pleased to receive with us Mr. Naaser Al-Khoury, Executive Director of Generation Amazing. And you're coming from Qatar.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
We are so pleased to have you during this summit. First of all, I would like to know more about Generation Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's amazing to be in Morocco. We had an amazing experience with the fans and the national team during the World Cup, with the best vibes from the Moroccan fans. And we really miss the Moroccan, vibes in Doha. So hopefully your team will be back for the Arab Cup towards the end of this year.
For sure.
And the fans as well. So with Generation Amazing, just to give you a little bit of background information on who we are. So we are a legacy foundation from the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. We started at the early stages of when we won the bid for the World Cup. Generation Amazing was part of the bid story. And the first project we did was a football pitch for a refugee community, a displaced community in northern Lebanon and in Jordan. And so since then we've expanded. So we have 4 pillars under Generation Amazing. One is providing safe spaces for communities that don't have a safe space to play sports, but also learn life skills, interact with each other. We promote inclusivity in communities. We promote the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Through sports, we promote peace and, community sort of cohesion. So that's one pillar. The other pillar is our capacity building program, which is looking at sort of upskilling football coaches and physical education teachers on using sports as a tool for development as well. So we look at, again, building life skills. We've done a lot of work with different ministries of education in Qatar and Jordan and Oman as well, training physical education teachers to use sports not just for physical activity, but also to build life skills. And so besides that, we have 2 other pillars, which is our youth festivals. These are annual events that we do alongside mega sporting events because we wanted to build a platform around mega sporting events for the youth. Because the youth are not really involved in mega sporting events. They're not able to travel. They're not able to afford paying tickets. So they come to Qatar. We've had several youth events during the FIFA Clubs World Cup, the FIFA Arab Cup, and then finally the FIFA 2022 World Cup. So they basically get to meet each other. So it's a cultural exchange program. We have delegations of school kids that come. There's capacity building workshops. There's panel discussions by legends and athletes and people that have done amazing work using sports to inspire them and motivate them. And then obviously there's a tournament. They have to play football, so there's a tournament angle. And then obviously they get to attend some of the games. So whether it's an opening match, or matches throughout the tournament, FIFA Clubs World Cup, Arab Cup, and World Cup, as I mentioned. And then we did a similar event in Sydney when the Women's World Cup took place last year. And we did another event alongside the Paris Olympics. Also, Tibu was there. We represent, you guys had a youth delegation there as well. We sponsored delegations from Senegal and Pakistan and Qatar as well. So the idea is that, again, the role of mega sporting events it's important to have the youth voices there and represented, and for them to be able to feel that they're part of the event. So that's the 3rd pillar. And then the 4th pillar is the youth advocacy program. So throughout the years, we select a group of youth that go through a training program with Generation Amazing with our partners. It varies from media training to leadership courses, and the idea is that we empower them to become agents of change within their communities, and using sport, obviously. So the hook is the sport. We engage with them through the sports, but then we make them realize that they could also become change makers, and they could use sports as a platform. And so we've done that over the last couple of years, and today obviously we signed an MOU with Tibu. And we've been talking to Amin and the team at Tibu. We've seen we're very impressed with the work that Tibu has done, not just in Morocco but across the region and Africa as well. And the idea is that from a legacy perspective, from Qatar 2022 to Morocco 2030, we want to kind of create that bridge where we support also Tibu but also the communities across Morocco through building safe spaces, through providing psychosocial support through sports, through publications and research and kind of collecting data and showcasing, best practice. Because I think also, what we've done in Qatar is that we've proven to the world that, the mega sporting event is used not just to host a 30-day tournament, but there's numerous legacy programs that took place throughout the 10 years in the lead up and post event as well. And so the idea is that we want to continue this journey so Morocco can also take advantage of the World Cup here. And we want to support and build capacity as much as we can. We're also trying to work in Saudi and kind of in the region. And the idea is that, again, we believe in South-to-South collaboration and cooperation. And that's why I think, it's so important for us to support Morocco. We speak the same language. We share the same culture. There are so many similarities. So again, it only makes sense that we work together.
That's why we say it's amazing. This is generation amazing. Thank you very much for sharing this experience. But first of all, I would like to know how the story starts with Tibu Africa. And do you think that there is a lot of things to learn about Tibu Africa, which is like different experience from the continent, from Morocco, which is like completely different maybe from the Middle East region?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a lot of different challenges when it comes to Morocco and Africa generally that, we don't have similar situations and obstacles, but I think there's a lot to learn from Tibu. There's so many things that, again, like I said, the work that Tibu is delivering is so impressive. We've visited one of the schools, the first chance schools. Again, we've seen in action, the impact that's being delivered, and I think that's one of the reasons why we wanted to partner with Tibu. So I met Amin in the Summer Olympics in Paris, and we started talking, and that's how we've been talking over the last couple of months.
That's amazing.
And now we're here, and we signed the MOU today as well, and we're looking forward to kind of starting that scope that I mentioned, but also expanding. Over the next couple of years, we're going to continue to develop further the scope and work together more closer, but also with the wider community in Morocco, working with the sports ministry, working with the education ministry, also the football federation. Hopefully we can also collaborate with them on the legacy initiatives and other NGOs and partners that, are in the sector, delivering amazing impact in Morocco.
Thank you. And I have a question. There is actually, a panel talking about gender equality. What is the mission of Generation Amazing to promote and to encourage women to practice
of course
sports?
Yeah, I mean, gender equality is one of our main sort of objectives. We try to any program that we roll out, we make sure that we have a 50% participation of girls and boys and equal representation. As I mentioned earlier, last year we had an amazing partnership between Qatar and Morocco with the Years of Culture, which is under the patronage of Her Excellency Sheikh Al Mayasa, the chairperson of Qatar Museums. And through that initiative, we were able to launch an amazing initiative called Her Game, and with Tibu Africa and Lead Morocco. And we basically had a tournament of 170 girls that played football, and they were empowered through football. And we had an amazing sort of experience, in Morocco when we came in December and we had the tournament. Like I said, I think, again, sports is an amazing platform to kind of, promote gender equality. And, genuinely also, encourage girls and push them to kind of take the challenge and kind of, push themselves to do better. And I think, we've seen kind of firsthand in the region, now there's so much more participation of girls in sports generally, not just football. It's happening also in Saudi Arabia, which is amazing. It's happening in Morocco. And I think the future of women's sports in the region is going to be amazing.
I would like to know what is actually, when we see, a lot of evolution, but there is some difficulties. What kind of problems, maybe barrier, you find to develop and to promote the education with the sports?
Education and sports? I think a lot of people think or work in silos when it comes to education and sports. We feel like education is sports and sports is education, because everything we do on the pitch it's creating better kids off the pitch, and we promote life skills, we promote teamwork, we promote all these life skills that you need. Before you look at education, if you look at specific subjects, you need these life skills to be able to work with your classmates, to be able to sit down in a classroom and be able to respect your teacher and sit in that environment. You need to have these life skills. It's almost like a foundation. And I think at the end of the day, again, like I said, we use sports as a hook. We're not trying to create athletes and you know, the next sort of Ashraf Hakimi, let's say. We're trying to create global citizens, community leaders, these people that, you know, can look at an issue and be able to solve the problem within their community and be able to kind of be leaders to change things. And that's, I think, an amazing skill that if kids, you know, learn that today, they can have an amazing career down the line and do amazing things. I think, you know, again, people like Amin, for example, I think, you know, people like that, I'm sure Amin started somewhere and was kind of realized that he has a role to play and be able to kind of, you know, change things in his community. And he started, you know, the foundation, and look at where he is today. I think that's what we try to do. We unlock these skills and we unlock this potential in these kids for them to be able to kind of realize that they have more to do and more to give, and that they're change makers in their communities.
Thank you. So I would like to know also if you, I mean, you're talking more about football, which is like maybe the main topics in the Arab world and Middle East region. But what about the other sports? There is like some kind of other sports you can include it in your program?
100%. I mean, we started with football, obviously, because we were the legacy project under the FIFA World Cup. But, you know, now we're looking at all sports. And I think all sports, and specifically team sports, have a potential to kind of, again, bring people together, unite, and embed these values and create these, you know, amazing learning outcomes. For example, one of the things we're talking to Tibu now as well, and with FIBA and FIBA Foundation is sort of looking at kind of the legacy of the next FIBA World Cup, FIBA Basketball World Cup, which is being hosted in Qatar, inshallah, in 2027.
Right.
And we're looking at kind of, again, what do we want as a legacy from the FIBA World Cup, taking place again for the first time in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. It's the first basketball World Cup to take place in this region, and the idea is that we have a legacy that spreads to the region as well. And we obviously want to promote basketball, but we also want to promote everything else, life skills. You know, we want to encourage gender equality, promote leadership skills, etc. So I think, you know, we're looking at basketball, we're looking at other sports. You know, potentially down the line, Qatar is also hosting the Asian Games. We're looking at Olympics as well, and so the idea is not limited to just football. I think all team sports have an amazing transformative power to, again, bring people together and create that change.
Thank you. My last question for you, Si Al-Khoury. If there is a message that you want to share to the people watching us on the Tibu TV, even the participant, what kind of message can you share with us?
I think, again, I said this earlier in my keynote, but I think, you know, partnerships is a very important thing that we should all look at, because I think sometimes organizations look at working in silos instead of, you know, looking at what other organizations are doing and learning from each other. There's no point of reinventing the wheel, especially in the sports for development sector, which is an underfunded sector. I think we should be collaborating as much as we can. NGOs, the private public sector partnerships, the UN agencies as well. I think, you know, the idea is that, you know, for us, we value partnerships, and we've had numerous partnerships over the last 10 years. And we also believe that, you know, we in collaborating with each other, we are maximizing the impact. Instead of, you know, working individually, we're creating a bigger impact. So I think that's my message, is that as much as you can, you know, try to partner with each other, try to work with each other, because I think that also creates sustainability for organizations, especially smaller community-based organizations or NGOs that are struggling to get, you know, resources. And I think there's a lot of organizations like Tibu that are doing amazing work. So supporting, you know, those organizations, instead of creating new foundations, you have already existing foundations that are delivering amazing impact. So the idea is that, again, going back to partnerships, I think it's good to kind of work together and collaborate with each other.
Thank you very much. Si Naser Al-Khoury, Executive Director of Generation Amazing. Thank you again for your support and for this beautiful partnership with Tibu.
Thank you so much.
Wish us the best, and
likewise,
good thanks for all the you for watching for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.